Being a well-informed gamer, you always know what's coming out and what games you should be excited about. But the fact that you're excited about a game doesn't make it a commercial success. Many of the most beloved games underperform commercially, and these are our 5 most beloved commercial flops. From the studio that brought you Dragon Age Inquisition, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, and the Mass Effect series, there's a role-playing game called Jade Empire, but you might not know about it because it was a commercial flop.
I do not have the strength to answer. I am cut open, and the way to the underworld is shut.
Clocking in at around 700,000 units sold worldwide. It's a shame that gamers at the time weren't drawn to this stunningly deep game.
She told them where to attack and they turned like one mind. One purpose. Except for the one. You stood alone.
Once upon a time, Rayman was a big character in video games. But release Rayman Origins alongside Skyrim and you know who bites the dust. Rayman Origins only sold 50,000 copies in its first month in the United States, even though the game was praised by all reviewers with an average metascore of 86%. It did get a sequel, however, which is pretty amazing considering the terrible sales numbers.
It's about fucking time!
Yeah, time for a mosh pit! Ass Kickers Unite!
In many ways, Brütal Legend is an amazing video game, but it just didn't score commercially. EA marketed the strategy game as a third-person action game, and that surely backfired. The game only sold 215,000 copies in its first month in the United States, which was weak considering its 82% metascore. Thankfully, the game got some love later on thanks to a price drop, Steam sales, and humble bundles. Okami was such an amazing game in many respects, from the gameplay to the story and the unique graphics. It earned a 93% metascore and was made by some of the best developers of the PS2 era. Only 620,000 copies of the game were sold worldwide. 1 year later, there was a Wii version of the game that was a little more successful, and a few years back an HD version for the PlayStation 3 was released. We should also mention games like Grim Fandango, an adventure game by Double Fine that was literally the nail in the coffin of an entire genre.
What is that supposed to mean?
Eternal Darkness, a brilliant horror game that was released at the moment everybody was sick and tired of the genre.
This isn't really happening!
Or what about Double Fine's adventure game Psychonauts? But in the end, there's only one game that can claim the top spot in our top 5.
Hey, you guys are good. Thanks, man. Hey, do you have a lighter? 'Cause if you lit it and held it up right now, that would be rad.
And completely insensitive to me and my issues.
Free yourself, Jake! I'll create a diversion!
Beyond Good and Evil is one of those classic games that's still being praised today, even though it bombed commercially. The superb original adventure game only sold 400,000 copies in its entire lifespan. Even the sales of the HD version couldn't help this game from being a commercial disaster.
Tres, dos, uno, go!
The sales numbers were so bad that in 2009, Ubisoft decided to give away copies of the game with mozzarella cheese in Canada. Now, that's what we call a commercial flop. Who would win in a fight, Spider-Man or Wolverine? What about Superman versus the Hulk? Answers to all these important questions can be found over at our friend JarMoneyMo. So check out his channel for awesome superhero battles and much more.
Baraka wins. Flawless victory.